China has had a major 7.4 magnitude earthquake. It rocked central China and it rattled most of the countries, as we'll see on the shake map. It's an area of mountainous region, very few people, very low population, but it has a lot of lakes and it has a very tremendous amount of liquefaction there. These are the dots of the earthquakes that have been taking place, still taking place, as we'll see. So they've been rocked by this huge 7.4 magnitude earthquake on the same day that they had an earlier deadly quake. Now, the quake struck Qinghai, China, 2:04 a.m. Saturday. That's 6 p.m. about 6 p.m. GMT. The Research Center for Geophysics said that the quake was at depth of a shallow 6.21 miles, 10 kilometers. It's not yet known if there are any injuries, and it did shake, as we'll see on the shake map, the whole of the country. The latest quake came after 2 people lost their lives to an earlier 6.4 magnitude that struck Yunnan earlier in the day. The quake hit at a depth of 12 kilometers, and it was followed by aftershocks, of course, and they're still happening. USGS said the quake took place near popular tourist area Dali. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. And the epicenter hit at 9:48 p.m. at a relatively shallow depth of 10 kilometers again, all these 10-kilometer depths. Dali announced a level 2 emergency response and a rescue operation was quickly started. The quake is said to have occurred in the mountainous province, and a truck driver lost his life by being because of the obviously landslides and rock slides took place. The provincial government also said some buildings collapsed and had been damaged. Of course, it was this huge quake, even the 6.4 before that. And it added that the disaster situation was undergoing further verification. Some roads were damaged due to landslides, but electricity, telephones, and internet were still working. Local media published videos of ceiling lamps swaying, as well as vases being pictures falling, of course, off the shelves, because this was a very powerful earthquake. The Chinese Earthquake Network Center, CENC, also warned people in the area to stay away from buildings. More than 100,000 people live in the area, with most of them in rural communities. The Yunnan region is often struck by earthquakes. It's because the region is close to the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates. Let's take a look at, this is the area of, it's a mountainous area, as we know, the Himalaya range and everything. This is the subduction zone there. Let's take a look at the shake map. Okay, so here we are. This is the area of the 7.3, 7.4, as we can see. And it's in the area of the Himalayas, okay, the Himalayan mountain range, plateau of Tibet. And this is an area that is mountainous, as we see, a lot of lakes and rivers, and also the fact that it has shaken. This is where the USGS stops the shaking intensity map. But as we can see, it probably shook not only all of China, but probably India felt it, the Korean peninsula, and even parts of this area here, Mongolia and southern Russia. And going into it, you can see what's happening here. The whole thing is shaking. This was the 7.4, okay? And going into it, the purple, as you can see here, these purple things are, all these are lakes, as you can see. Rivers and lake areas, even though it's up there in the mountains. And all this is liquefaction, because obviously there must have been more lakes up there that have been filled in. And this is the epicenter right there. The population density, hardly anybody up there, as you can see. There's all, but they are around. but that's what we don't. We only had a few people reporting this to USGS. And historic seismicity. Okay, so this is the area. Liquefaction, that was it, you can see. Okay, the whole area is full of liquefaction. Landslides, I guess that's why they took place. But you can see that this whole area full of lakes, very soft sediment up there, and the earthquakes are still ongoing, right there, as we can see. Okay, so they are having, this was the latest one today, 4.1, and they have been told to be careful, stay away out of buildings as much as they can, because this was such a large aftershock that they will be having, large earthquake that they will be having aftershocks. And this is the seismicity in the Himalayas, resulting from the continental collision of the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate, and which are converging at a relative rate of 40 to 50 millimeters every year, so that's pretty fast. Northward underthrusting of India beneath the Eurasian generates numerous earthquakes and consequently makes this area one of the most seismically hazardous regions on Earth. The surface expression of the plate boundary is marked by the foothills of the north-south trending Suleiman Range in the west, and the Indo-Burmese Arc in the east, and east-west trending Himalaya front in the north of India. Okay, so we do get big earthquakes there. Example of significant earthquakes in this densely populated region caused by reverse slip movement. 1934, they had an 8.1. 1905, they had a 7.5. 2005, they had a 7.6 Kashmir. So you can see that this 7.4, I hope it's the main quake and it's not a foreshock. So I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you for your support.